Yan, hello and good afternoon teachers and welcome to our Saturday stream, no? Maraming salamat for once again na joining our March series no for this year no. And of course ang pinaka-focus ng ating March series would be assessments. But before we go to that, teachers, mag-greet muna ako sa mga teachers natin na napakaaga po sa chat natin. As early as, napakaaga naman ni Miss Janine at 10:49 PM. Kagabi pa yata ito, no? Okay? And of course, Miss Janine, hindi ko pa rin nakakalimutan, may utang pa ako sa iyo. No? So, but soon, I'll be sending that since I'll be traveling naman to your place, to that area. Okay? So, good afternoon to Ms. Janine. Good afternoon to Pastor Manny Garcia, always blessing our sessions. Okay? To me, Teacher May Versosa, okay? Teacher Jezebel Lauza, Teacher Nor Haina Balabadan, Teacher Jeffrey Beltran, parang may class pa yata si Teacher Jeffrey pero nandito na rin kagad. Teacher EJ Marquez, no? Teacher Ron Visca, Teacher Edna Makauyag, Teacher Melody Lozano, Teacher Joy Kenneth Biasong, Teacher Jeneline Cabajo, Teacher Mary Chris Cerebrano, Teacher Gary Bigega, Teacher Alan Brutas, ayan, meron by the way na may online business, Teacher Alan, you might want to inquire about that. Teacher Dean Clifford Wame, Teacher May Bastes, Teacher Ai Oka, parang nagbabalik si Teacher Ai Oka, no? Parang na-miss ko to sa chat, no? Teacher Randy De Los Santos, Teacher Arlene Alberto, yan, as usual, Teacher Florence Caceres, Teacher Leocel Villantes, ayan, sana makapunta ako ng Cebu, ayan, Teacher Leocel, ayusin natin yan very, very soon, Teacher Maan Tapawan, Teacher of course, no, si Sir Alwin, nandiyan na rin sa chat natin. Teacher Lorena Villano, Teacher Arlene de la Cruz, Carmelin Perez, Knowles, Teacher Janet Diego, Teacher Jaisel Balintad, Teacher Jonel Gumagay, and Teacher Arnold Catalan. I'll end with Teacher Maria Rosel Magdamit. Kaya magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, no? Okay? Before we continue, teachers, no, I'd also like to invite everyone to please do share our link, no, para mas madami po tayong ma-invite na educators sa ating session for the. Kasi sigurado ako, teachers, no, sulit ang Sabado natin sa session na to. By the way, kung di nyo rin po napapansin, teachers, no, shorter na yung mga sessions natin nowadays, no, hindi na tayo umaabot ng 2 hours, That's intentional, teachers. We have reduced our sessions, no, to 1 hour to maximum of 1 hour and a half, no. That's to also accommodate yung busy schedule ng mga teachers natin. Alam ko ang hirap na ngayon mag-catch up with our sessions, no, lalo na pag napakahaba ng mga sessions natin. So we're compressing it, but at the same time we're not sacrificing the content, teachers, no. So despite the reduction in time, teachers, or length of our sessions, you can still expect only the best and only like solid discussions from our sessions. And yes, no, according to Teacher Romel Abalye, no, napapanahon sa aking hawak na subjects ngayon, assessments and evaluation in mathematics and technology and teaching and learning mathematics. Yan. So tama, Teacher Teacher Romel, no. Itong pag-uusapan natin ngayon, still part of our series on assessments, and last time, no, pinag-usapan natin on promoting integrity and honesty of assessments, But this time, ang pag-uusapan naman natin ay of course, no, on ICT-based assessments, okay? Ito definitely, no, isa sa mga very important, no, matters, kasi we have a lot of mga what do you call it, technology na ginagamit ngayon sa education. Pero paano naman kung gagamitin naman natin yung technology for assessments, no? How should we do that? How can we how can we properly evaluate, no, or properly manage that, no, yung paggamit ng technology sa classroom. So yan, teachers, siguro bago tayo magsimula, I'd like to siguro, no, survey lang ng konti, from 1 to 10, 10 being the most frequent, gaano po tayo ka-frequent mag-integrate ng technology sa ating sa ating mga assessments. Ayan. So gusto ko lang malaman, para mas makita rin natin, no, at we can see yung ano natin, frequency ng paggamit natin. Okay? Ako technically hindi naman lagi no. Gumagamit pa rin ako ng mga ano no, mga traditional assessments, okay? But of course, ang isa rin sa mga ano ko is I'll make sure na ano no, na meron akong good amount of technology na ginagamit sa classroom, no? Okay? Para masigurado ko lang din that I'm able to ano no, to maximize yung mga resources ko plus yung pag-target din no, sa 21st century siguro. Kasi alam naman natin no, ngayon, yung paggamit ng technology, okay, is a very like a vital no aspect of 21st century learning. Hindi na yan pwedeng tanggalin teachers, no? Okay? Um, for our ano no um learning no in the 21st century. Okay? So, teachers, siguro mag-start na tayo no at of course meron tayong two wonderful sessions no and two speakers no for this afternoon, okay? Which will be no leading us into our discussion for today, okay? And then we'll be tackling on different aspects of ICT-based assessments, okay? Kung saan pag-uusapan natin yung ano nila, yung iba't ibang aspect ng how do we properly integrate technology in assessments. Okay, yeah. Medyo nag-stuck lang ako. Sorry, teachers. Okay? And of course, teachers, no, ang ating unang ano speaker, no, okay, does not need no further like introduction kasi kilalang-kilala na rin siya no sa field of training, no, sa field of sharing no her expertise and of course her time, no, okay? Siguro lang couple of things no that I can definitely mention about our first speaker for this afternoon, okay? Of course, she is an active and a faculty member and teacher in Quezon. And okay, siguro very notable for our first speaker for this that she is one of the few okay ano no trainers okay in the Philippines okay who have acquired the three different levels no of Google certifications okay including a Google certified coach, Google certified trainer, Google ano no certified innovator, Google certified educator, and of course the leader of Google Educators Group no of Quezon. Okay, let us welcome into our stream Teacher MJ. Teacher MJ, good afternoon.
Hello sir, good afternoon po. Ayan,
Yan.
thank you po.
Sabi ko nga no. Yes, so teachers no, hindi ako nagbibiro no, kilala na kilala natin no, si Teacher MJ. And by the way, si Teacher MJ din no, nag-lead din siya ng napakadaming training for Google Educators at ang dami niyang napa-certify no, more than 200 I think or I think we've reached 300 to 400. I don't know no, pero sobrang dami na kasing na-certify ni Teacher MJ. So anyway, Teacher MJ, before siguro tayo mag-start with your session, is to just give us siguro ano ang kasi napakalaki na 'tong topic natin for today, no? So, ano yung magiging focus mo for today's session?
Alright, thank you Sir Franco and hello sa ating lahat ng mga viewers today kahit na sobrang init, di ba? So, teachers, thank you sa inyong walang sawang pagsuporta sa Kaagapay Teacher Support na patuloy na talagang ano no, sinusupport niyo yung community para sa guro. For this afternoon, nakakatuwa yung mga topic about assessment. And when we talk about assessment, ang lawak niya nung binasa ko siya. Sobrang lawak ng assessment. Pero magfo-focus lang tayo. Ano ba yung benefits ng paggamit ng ICT sa assessment? Ayan. So, may mga ilan na mga ibibigay ko sa inyo na mga baka makatulong sa inyo o sa pag-i-integrate ninyo ng ICT sa mga assessment or sa inyong classroom ano. So by the way Sir Frank ano ano lang ako medyo nag-greet lang ako kasi as of this moment po nasa Gumaka Quezon ako. So we're having a training for almost 130 teachers here in Gumaka East District. So hello po sa inyong lahat. Ayan.
Kita mo naman yung commitment ni Teacher ano 'no, ni Teacher MJ. Nasa training pa natin, nasa webinar pa natin. So anyway, let's not, ano 'no, prolong this introduction and let's, get into your session, Teacher MJ. And while I'm waiting 'no, for the presentation of Teacher MJ teachers, okay, please do take note that this is also a certified session. We'll be providing an e-certificate 'no, after the, well, after few days 'no, hindi po kaagad namin nabibigay yung certificates, but it takes us time to process the certificates. But, yes, you will be getting certificates, okay? Teacher MJ, your presentation is now live, okay? Good luck on your session, teachers. Enjoy, I'll be in the chat na if you need me.
Right, ayan, magandang hapon po sa inyo teachers and sa lahat ng alam niyo, I feel so amazed dito sa group na 'to kasi kung may isang tao talaga na very passionate sa pagtulong, ito na yun, isa na ito sa napakalaki ng influence sa atin mga teacher at, every month 'di ba may team na tinatakel. Ayan, good afternoon po ulit sa inyong lahat. Again, I'm, Teacher MJ from Quezon Province and, um currently teaching grade 4 at Mangilag Sur Elementary School. Of course, headed by our principal, Ma'am Vilma de la Cruz. Right? So, teachers, when we talk about assessment, di ba, parang ano ang nare-recall nyo pag sinabi natin na, alright, so, kailangan natin magbigay ng assessment sa mga bata. When we hear about assessment, um, ayan, ano yung inyong unang salita na naririnig? Ano yung unang word na naririnig na nasasabi nyo pag sinabing assessment? Ayan. So, sige nga, lagay natin sa ating chat box. Pag sinabi nating assessment, yan, test, o diba, nag-e-exam tayo, quiz, ayan. So, mayroon tayong mga quiz or test. So, formative, ayan, evaluation. So, 'di ba at the end ng class natin or during our class, nagbibigay tayo ng mga assessment or after our class para ma-check natin if talagang naunawaan tayo ng mga bata. And hindi natin mapapagkaila, dear teachers, na yung paper and pencil, isa talaga yun sa talagang talagang kailangan gamit na gamit sa atin yung pen and paper. Okay, so yan, TOS, o Table of Specification. So ayan, totoo yan, katambal na yan kasi kailangan tugma-tugma para makita din natin kung saan ba hindi nakuha ng mga bata yung ating mga itinuro. Ayan, meron din dito seat work or activities, evaluation, at marami pa pong iba. Okay? So, ang dami pa teachers nung mga nung mga pag narinig nyo yung assessment, yan, test agad, quiz agad, TOS, yan yung mga naririnig na rin. But, when we talk about ICT-based assessment, ay meron na itong kasama na ICT. So, ang dami nating mga ginagamit na mga platform na kung saan nagagamit natin sa pagtuturo sa ating mga bata at ganoon din sa pag-measure nung natutunan nila if natutunan ba talaga nila yung tinuro natin. So since I'm a DepEd teacher, ano po, kung and siguro mas marami din po dito yung mga DepEd teacher is maaalala nyo teacher yung DepEd Order number 8 series of 2015, which is the policy guidelines on classroom assessment for the K-12 basic education program na ito ay noon pang April 1, 2015, wherein dito sa memo na ito, okay, dito sa memo na ito is nakalagay, teachers, yung mga ano yung classroom assessment, ano yung types of classroom assessment. We have the formative assessment and the summative assessment. So, ang dami. Tapos, ano pa yung ina-assess natin sa classroom? Is that the content standard or the performance standard? So, hindi lang basta assessment. Kasi pag inisip natin, assessment yun, magki-quiz tayo. Diba? Yun agad yung naisip natin. But, saan ba talaga siya kasama? Puwede ba siyang kasama sa content standards, wherein the content standards answer the question, what should the learners know? What should the learners know? So kapag ganun yung nasasagot na tanong, so that is from content standards. And then the letter B is the performance standard, wherein yung mga question na nasasagot is like, what can learners do with what they know? That is the application na nung learning nila. That is the performance standard. How well must learner do their work, and how well do the learner use their learnings to understand in different situation. And meron pa tayo ng learning competencies, concept development. Kaya nga 'di ba, pag pinag-usapan talaga natin yung assessment, grabe, sobrang lawak. Hindi mo siya mahihimay agad in just 30 minutes, in just 1 hour kasi dun pa lang sa content tsaka performance standard, dapat alam na natin ano ba yung inaatake ng ating mga questions. Okay? So, siguro later ano i-explain ng aking kapartner na mamaya ipapakilala sa inyo yung adapted cognitive process dimension, like the remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating and creating. So ang dami, when we talk about assessment, it always come with ang dami palang pwede nating gawin, lalo na ngayon teachers. And eto yung isang magandang blessing na natanggap natin nung nagkaroon ng pandemic. Minsan iniisip natin na pandemic parang sobrang alam mo yun, sobrang ah, tayo ay nalulungkot. But at the end of the pandemic, nakita nyo yung blessing na meron tayong another outlet na hindi lang tayo mag-focus dun sa pen and paper, 'di ba? Show me board or quiz 1 to 5. Hindi lang 'yun, kundi nadagdagan pa tayo ng pwede pala 'tong approach nito. And this afternoon, no, I'll be tackling the benefit of ICT-based assessment. So what is the ICT-based assessment? So when we talk about assessment, is always consider a key component in process of teaching and learning. A major role is being played by ICT in making process of assessment easy for teacher. As the use of ICT is increasing, the assessment is made now in the new and innovative manner. So, ayan yung assessment natin. Lagi siyang isa sa pinakamalaking component kasi hindi naman pwede teachers na, okay, turo tayo today, turo tayo bukas, turo tayo, and then yung assessment, doon natin i-measure, yung natuto ba yung bata sa atin. Not only the theory, but also kung paano nila i-apply sa kanilang everyday life yung mga natutunan nila sa klase. Kaya nga doon sa 'di ba, yung medyo pilosopong sagot tanong ng bata, yun bang ah, tangent, cosine, yung mga ganun ba, ma'am? Magagamit ba namin siya in daily life? 'Di ba? Pag tinanong yun ng bata parang, bakit ko nga ba ituturo pa 'to, pag pumunta ka naman ng palengke, ah, hindi naman tatanungin, sasabihin sa'yo na tangent plus ganyan, ganyan. 'Di ba hindi naman? But teachers, paano natin beyond the across the curriculum, paano natin i-a-apply yung mga ganong mga atake, yung ganong mga topic. Hindi lagi dapat nasa content standard tayo. Punta tayo sa performance standard, the application of learning na. So, kaya isa sa pinakamalaking part ng learning ng mga bata is the assessment. And this time is nadagdagan pa siya, which is the ICT-based. ICT-based, bakit? So the assessment or ICT-based assessment can be used to develop tests such as computer-based tests. So madami na ngayon mga computer-based, like yung mga exam natin, nalalagay natin. digital version of traditional paper and based test. Like nung pandemic, gamit na gamit ko talaga yung Google Form. Kasi si Google Form meron siyang quiz na kung saan kapag 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 ating ginamit, 'di ba, pwedeng may check na ire-record na lang natin yung sagot ng mga bata. And maganda doon, naiitago agad natin kasi nasa cloud storage. So, computer adaptive tests, able to change their form in response to the input from learner being tested, and test creation applications. So, alam ko na madami po kayong test application, creation application na maibibigay. So, yan. So, ano po ba yung mga natatandaan nyo na ginagamit ninyo sa ICT, with integration of ICT sa inyong assessment? Ayan. So, for example, ako, gumagamit ako ng Google Form. Yun yung ginagamit kong isa talaga sa pag-assess sa mga bata. So, kayo din teachers, meron din kayong mga ginagamit like class point, 'di ba? Isa sa mga gamit na gamit ngayon, si class point, si peer deck, ano pa? Ano pa po ba ang mga naiisip ninyo na pwedeng gawin? Ayan. Parang isa sa nakikita ko is yung ayan, sabi ni Ma'am May, by sa Verso sa AIX Summit. Ayan. So, hindi ko pa natatrayan. Pero kung ginagamit ni Ma'am yan, meaning we can also use that application. Like, yan, sabi ni Ma'am, is word wall. Yan, favorite ko yan, word wall, kasi bagay na bagay po yan sa mga bata. Lalo na sa elementary kasi very interactive yung word wall. Quizzes, we have also the Kahoot, Mentimeter, yan, quizzes. So, ang dami nating ginagamit. And isa lang ang nakikita niyo sa mga bata. So, sa classroom natin, pag pinagamit natin yung mga bata, halimbawa yung quizzes, example lang pag binagamit mo siya, di ba may mga power siya, and nai-enjoy nung mga bata yung pagsasagot. Hindi sila naboboard kasi unang-una may sound, plus yung pagkakagawa sa kanya, very interactive. Kung ako yung bata, sobrang may engage ako doon kasi gusto ko yung mga ganong style, yung graphics niya, gustong-gusto ko yung mga ganon. Yan. So, napakaganda. Yan. Yan, word wall, may nagsabi. Paul, ang dami. And plus point. Ayan. So, ang dami po natin ginagamit na test creation. And also, we have what are the benefits of ICT-based management? So, we should always think of the benefits. Hindi lang dahil gusto lang natin itong gamitin, but also, ano yung mabe-benefits ng learners natin. Hindi laging focus sa atin kasi yung pinaka reason kung bakit natin ginagawa yung mga innovation like yung ICT-based assessment is because we are focused sa ating mga learners. Gusto natin mas ma-engage pa sila. Okay? So, bibigyan ko lang kayo ng ilan, yung ilan na reason or mga benefits ng ICT-based assessment. Okay, number 1 is this. Deliver traditional assessment formats more effectively and efficiently. So, napansin ko to sa mga bata na nakita ko to sa mga bata na once na gumagawa po sila ng kanilang mga quiz, tapos, sige, get one whole sheet of paper, number 1 to 5, okay? Lalagyan, number 1 to 10, lalagyan nila yung mga ganon. Tapos, okay, read the following question, then answer. Answer only. Letter only. And then, pag naririnig yun ng bata, alright, then, routine na sa kanila. What will happen next? Exchange paper. Then, we will check it. That is the traditional way of assessment. What I mean is yung how we assess the learner. We get the pen and paper. But, using the ICT, from that traditional pen and paper is pag na-engage yung bata with the use of ICT or any technology or any equipment is mas magiging effective and efficient yung learning nila. Mas natatandaan nila yung nangyari. I remember dun sa class ko, I use quizzes. So sinubukan ko lang but first quarter pa yon. Last Thursday, tinanong ko, sabi ko, naalala nyo ba nung naglaro tayo ng quizzes? And they tell me yung exact na naramdaman nila, ano yung nangyari, sino ang nanalo, ano yung pinag-usapan namin. Okay? So, pero tinanong ko sila, did you still remember our quiz last time sa 1/4 sheet of paper? Then sila, ha? Teacher, kailan po yun? Pero yung first quarter assessment nila, di ba? Andun pa rin, tandang-tanda po nila. Okay? Ayan. Next, number two is change the way competences are assessed and develop format. They facilitate the assessment of competences that have been difficult to capture with traditional assessment format. And ito yung isa sa mga napansin ko sa mga bata. Parang ang hirap-hirap gawin. Ang hirap-hirap sa kanilang gawin. Pero bakit kapag binigyan mo sila ng cellphone, bakit pag pinagamit mo sila ng laptop, bakit parang ang dali-dali na lang ng mga bagay-bagay sa kanila na hindi mo ina-expect na, okay, at the end of your lesson, hindi mo ina-expect na yun yung nakuha nila doon sa topic mo. Okay? Hindi mo, parang, beyond the box talaga yung mga bata. Kapag gumagamit sila ng mga ganitong mga technology. Okay? Nag-iiba. For example, you're using the 3D or yung mga augmented realities. Yung mga augmented realities is just like, ibigay mo lang sa mga bata yan, tapos imamanipulate nila. Pag manipulate nila yan, okay, magtanong ka sa kanila. Grabe, ang dami na po nilang masasabi sa inyo. Sobrang dami na nilang masasabi sa inyo. Okay, to the point na hindi mo na ina-expect, that is beyond your control. Okay, yung learning nila is not just from the book, okay, and then from your module or from dun sa mga sinabi mo, but also doon sa hindi mo inaakala, 'di ba? Shout out sa lahat ng public school teachers, 'di ba? Na malapit na mag-COT. Ano yung number one? Number one is yung lesson natin dapat matarget natin yung within and across the curriculum. And you know what, teachers? When you use the ICT-based assessment, kahit hindi ka magsalita, kahit magbigay ka ng instruction, they can give ano yung mga beyond or yung mga across the curriculum na sila na mismo, teachers, ikaw as hindi ka na yung nagtuturo na, hindi nagtuturo na hindi ka nagtuturo. Hindi ka na masyadong umimik, but you're only a facilitator of learning. Nagpa-facilitate ka na lang ng learning nila. Hindi na pagod ka to the point that halos mapaos ka na. What if you have 6 or to 7 class? 'Di ba? So, yeah, yan yun. Nakaka-capture nila yung hindi natin makukuha doon sa ibang mga materials natin. Incorporate simulation, interactivity, and constructive response format. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Nagkakaroon sila ng simulation, interactivity, tuwan-tuwa talaga yung mga bata. Hindi lang yung mga bata, kahit nga tayong teacher, natutuwa tayo. Di ba pag ginagawa natin yun? And because of that simulation on interactivity, it can lead to innovations. Then that innovation can help the learners kasi alam nyo naman po, iba-iba yung learning style ng mga bata natin. Hindi lamang sila, okay, hindi pwede na isa lang activity. Dapat kumakanta, sa pasayaw, pakanta, patula, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. And because of this, incorporate simulation that will lead to innovation, and that innovation will tackle the learning style of our learners. Ay yung mga learning style. Basic one is simply monitor the progress day by day. Kasi may mga ginagamit, so we can monitor the progress day by day. Every day talaga. Okay? Ayan. So, marami tayong mga ICT-based na training na nagtuturo nung paano natin makukuha yung mga responses nila. And from day one na itinuro mo yon, yung pre-test mo, ay yung pre-test mo, hanggang mag-Friday na mag-post test ka, you can see the progress of your student. Kasi nakukompare mo lahat. Everyday yung ginagawa ninyo. For example, ako, nagtuturo ako ng science. So, kung nag-pretest ako, at the beginning, nung kunyari module 3, nagbigay ako sa kanila. So, at the end of the module 3, meron din post-test. And that post-test can lead me, ano yung mga kailangan pang i-adjust. Okay? ICT promotes higher order thinking skills. Okay. So, it promotes yung HATS natin. Why? One of the key skills for the 21st century, which include evaluating, planning, monitoring, and reflective, to name a few. So, iyan yung mga evaluating, yung evaluation, yung planning. So, the effective use of ICT in education demand skills. And such as yung explaining and justifying. So, yung mga bata natin, once na ginagamit nila yung mga ganong assessment, hindi lang sila basta sumasagot. Nagre-reason out pa sila. And it can develop their HATS o yung higher order thinking skills. Yan. Ayan, develop ICT literacy and ICT capabilities. And ayan na yung isa sa mga kailangan natin talagang ma-develop para hindi mahuli yung mga bata natin sa kunyari nag-high school sila or nag-college sila. Alam nila kung paano i-manipulate yung isang bagay. Kasi and we have also motivates learning. Ito na siguro yung pinaka tarang excited na pumasok, mag-aral at matuto. Kasi alam nila that every day you have surprises sa kanila. At ang sarap nun bilang isang guro na excited yung mga bata natin sa pagpasok. Every day, excited sila na makita ka. Not because nandun ka lang, but also they are excited to learn. Ano kaya naman yung bagong ibibigay ni teacher sa amin? And yun yung goal as a teacher. Yung makita mo na excited yung mga bata natin. Okay? And improves engagement and knowledge retention. Ito, isa sa pinaka talaga, very improve yung engagement ng mga bata. Mapapansin nyo, kung meron kayong mga bata na nasa parang nahihiya sila, parang natatakot silang umimik. Merong mga ganung bata na parang nahihiya ako, ma'am, ganun. Pero teachers, when you use the technology, when you use something na hindi na nakakapagbigay ng excitement sa kanila, mag-i-improve yung engagement. Okay? Kung sila ay pala absent or hindi sila pala imik, when we use some integrations, mas magiging ano sila, may engage sila doon. And ito yung pinaka-goal, yung ma-retain yung knowledge na ituro mo, yung naibigay mo. Hindi lang basta, okay, today nag-aral tayo nito, then bukas, tanungin mo yung mga bata, anong pinag-aralan nyo kahapon? Hindi na nila masyadong ma-recall. May mga ilang nakaka-recall. Pero kapag ginamitan mo to ng something integration, ng ICT, ng technology, I swear teachers, ang laki ng impact. Ang laki talaga ng impact nito. Kaya yung kinakwento kanina, di ba? Sabi ko nga, first quarter pa namin ginawa. Third quarter na ngayon, pero still, yung excitement, nung narinig nila, okay, nagamit nila yon. Right? So, meaning, when you integrate something in your lesson, sobrang ganda po nung makukuha ninyo na impact sa inyong mga student. And it can lead you dun sa maganda ring performance ng mga bata. And allows for effective differentiation instruction with technology. So, ang dami nating gawin kasi 'di ba alam po natin na iba-iba po ang learning style ng mga bata. So, when we all learn differently at different traits and style, so iba-iba talaga. And technology provides opportunity for this. Iba-iba man teachers yung learning style ng mga bata. But I swear teacher, once you integrate something in your class that is yung mga bata natin ay sobrang excited to learn at gamitin, I swear teacher, kahit iba-iba yung learning style niyan sa class, I swear you can simply integrate everything. Okay? And yung instruction, kahit paano yung paggawa mo, kasi kung ano yung instruction na nandun sa screen nila, ginagawa nila yun eh. Just to finish yung kanilang mga ginagawa. And yung learning style nila, nadadagdagan. Kung dati puro ang learning style mo is, di ba, iba-iba nga yung linguistic, meron tayong kinesthetic, iba-iba yung learning style. But because nag-i-integrate ka sa class mo, then you can achieve more. Yung different learning style nila, baka magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na mabind mo sila. Okay? At mas ma-improve pa. Kaya nga kanina, di ba, yung HATS, yung higher order thinking skill, is nade-develop talaga sila dito. Alright? So, ayan yung ilang mga benefits, teacher, na why we need to use the ICT-based assessment. Not only para mapadali tayo, teacher, kasi honestly, madali naman talagang gamitin. Kahit nga ako gusto ko yung ganun. Kasi nadidevelop yung mga bata sa paggamit ng technology. And also, hindi lang nadidevelop sila, hindi lang sila nahahasa sa paggamit ng positive use of ICT, but also tayong teacher, gumagaan din sa atin. Kasi, ang dali ika-copy-paste mo yung mga result and you can easily compare yung mga result, yung gumamit ka ng pen and paper at yung gumamit ka ng with technology integration. You can compare the result and you can easily think of ano pa yung pwede nyong gawin sa inyong class. Okay? Again, I'm Teacher MJ from Quezon Province, and I hope that discussion will lead you to more exciting class talaga. Kasi once we integrate ICT, hindi lang doon sa pagtuturo natin, but also in assessment, madami po ang mas may engage na mga bata. And isa na ito sa goal natin mga teachers. Mas ma-engage yung mga bata sa atin sa learning. And yeah, I hope, dear teachers, that short discussion ay makatulong sa inyo, no, in deciding ano yung mga pwede niyo pang gawin sa inyong classroom, lalo na ngayon third quarter. So marami na, third quarter, fourth quarter, so pagdami pa niyan. So, dear teachers, thank you, and I hope to na hindi ito yung last na makasama ko kayo. But also, ito yung start, no, para makasama po kayo. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Maria Rosel Magdamit, ok na ako sana kung may internet connection sa school. Yes, alam naman po natin, di ba? Yan talaga yung isa sa mga problem namin. Actually kami, kahit medyo bayan kami, medyo hirap din sa internet connection. But then, no, yung school is gumagawa talaga siya ng way para ma-provide lahat ng needs natin. And isa yan, sooner or later, I'm looking forward talaga na mai-provide lahat ng ito, no? Hindi lang internet connection but also yung mga devices para excited yung mga bata. Alam nyo, yung mga bata, padutdutin nyo lang sila ng konti sa laptop nyo. Kontuwa na sila. Ayan, so thank you so much, teachers and Sir Frank.
Yan, maraming salamat Teacher MJ for leading us into this discussion on appreciating the benefits of ICT-based assessments, no? Okay? And siguro din, no, maybe you can still entertain siguro one or two questions from our audience, okay? For Teacher MJ, if you have teachers. Ayan, meron na kagad question from Teacher Junel Gumagay. Okay. According to Teacher Junel no Gumagay, is there a way to integrate ICT without internet connection? Example, the use of hotspots.
Yes. Opo, yun. Ayan yung ginagamit ko kasi doon sa isang class ko, hindi rin abot masyado yung internet. So, ang ginagawa ko talaga, naglo-load din, hotspot. Pero, isa sa pwede natin gawin, kunyari, gumamit tayo ng PowerPoint as mga naka-hyperlink, tapos try natin ipapindot sa mga bata yung halimbawa yung mga box, tas lalabas, parang mga naka-hyperlink. Na-experience ko yan, sir, na yung bata takot na takot siyang humawak doon sa mousepad at talagang basang-basa yung kamay niya. And that, naging memorable sa kanya yun. So, you can use kahit offline. Meron din pa rin po mga offline na pwede tayong magamit.
Yes, no. Actually, marami naman na ngayon lumalabas ng mga offline modalities, no? Offline versions or modes, okay? Kasi teachers na sa totoo lang, dapat hindi tayo magpapigil, no, dun sa kawalan ng internet. Kasi if that's what we're going to wait for that, no, and before we integrate technology, medyo matagal-tagal pa yan. Although, things are slowly getting into that direction, pero we still have to be patient about it. For the meantime, let's make use of what we have. Okay? Siguro yung next question na Teacher MJ will be coming from me. Okay? Since you mentioned like many benefits of ICT, no, what would be something that our teachers need to pay attention with in terms of like technology use naman? Ano naman yung dark side niya or maybe negative impact if there are or there is, no, that our teachers need to also to take note of?
Yeah. Isa is yung mga bata parang eto based on my experience nagiging outlet na, may pinapagawa kasi si teacher dito sa cellphone. So, kahit parang wala ka namang pinapagawa, parang sasabihin nila na, baka may pinapagawa nga si teacher. So, isa sa mga risk yon siguro na masasabi ko na, baka gamitin na ng mga bata na puro gano'n na lang or isa is kung laging ang assessment natin is online, kunyari ganun. Siyempre, given na yung may kailangan nilang mag-internet, kailangan nila. But also, nung nakita ko yung yung sa technology integration, yung writing skill nila, hindi na nide-develop. So, kailangan balance pa rin. When you use technology, then use also the traditional. Kasi yung mga bata, hindi na sila masyadong nade-develop sa kanilang writing. So, kaya dapat talaga, balance yung paggamit. So, discipline, kailangan ibigay.
Thank you, Teacher MJ, no, for that, no. So, meron talaga pa rin, no, may cons, may pros and cons ang paggamit ng technology sa classroom, no. Okay, and as teachers, no, we have to be very aware of it para mas mabilis nating ma-navigate na yung pag-apply at saka paggamit ng technology sa classroom. Okay, hindi naman yan na perfect and ideal teachers, no. Meron at meron pa rin kayong makikitang flaws ng technology integration sa assessments. Okay? So anyway, that's all the time that we can ask from Teacher MJ. Alam ko po busy is Teacher MJ for this afternoon. Okay? So if there are questions, maybe mamaya, no, we'll try to answer it sa dulo. Okay? Pero siguro kami na lang siguro yun, no? Kasi Teacher MJ had to also attend to some matters, no, in her day to day. Okay? But anyway, before kami magpaalam sa iyo, Teacher MJ, let us first present, no, this certificate of appreciation, okay, from Kaagapay Teacher Support, which would like to respectfully award, no, to Miss Micah Joy Mitra for sharing her knowledge, okay, and expertise in the recently concluded webinar entitled ICT-Based Assessments, Integrating Technology in Assessments, awarded on March 11, 2023, with training duration of 1.5 hours na yung total niya. Okay, signed by Franco Nicolo P. Adun, Administrator, Kaagapay Teacher Support. Okay? Yan. Siguro, Teacher MJ, before kami magpaalam, no, of course, no, as usual, lagi kaming humingi ng short message from our speaker to always bring hope to our teachers.
Alright. Teachers, again, thank you so much po sa napakasipag niyo pong umattend ng training, lalo na dito sa Kaagapay. Ayan, thank you so much po. And again, teachers, kanina sabi ko nga sa training, hindi na tayo pabalik sa nakaraan. Papunta na tayo sa hinaharap. So, ang kailangan natin is hindi naman totally i-grab lahat ng technology na yun, but kailangan natin i-improve din yung ating sarili. Isabay natin sa agos para pag dumating yung time na nandun na tayo sa golden age natin, na hindi naman tayo sobrang nahihirapan dun sa work na ginagawa. Kasi teachers ngayon more on digital na talaga tayo. So, dear teachers, just continue to strive more para mas maging mahusay pa tayo, but also always remember, no, lagi niyo pong mamahalin ang inyong sarili, no? Hindi yung lagi tayong go ng go, no? Mahalin din natin natin sa ating sarili, and bigyan niyo po ng time to rest and mag-relax, no? Ayan. So, ayan po. Thank you so much again, Kaagapay Teacher Support and Sir Frank.
Thank you so much, Teacher MJ, for your input and of course your time for today.
Thank you so
Okay, so
much.
teachers, yes, thank you, Teacher MJ. Let's now proceed, teachers, on our next speaker for this afternoon. Okay, of course, we have my colleague, my co-ambassador, okay, from Xavier School, and of course from Ed Puzzle. Okay, again, not someone that's new from the community, has been very active, no, in the entire learning teachers community, giving webinars, okay, being ambassadors of different edtech brands, okay, such as Kahoot, quizzes, and of course Ed Puzzle. Okay, let us now welcome our second speaker for today, Sir Alwin Reclusado. Ayan, nakakahoot pa. Magbibigay kaya ng prizes ngayon si Teacher Sir Alwin.
Sana, sir. Hello,
yes,
sir.
Good afternoon, Sir Alwin. Okay?
Good afternoon. Good
Yan,
afternoon
siguro
po.
before siguro ka mag-start ng session, just like what I asked from Teacher MJ, is to ask you about like what's going to be covered in your part of your session for today. Okay, what aspect of ICT-based assessments will you be focusing on?
For my part, Sir Franco, it will be on the challenges of ICT-based assessments. So ito yung mga I would want to focus on the reality, yung mga na-experience natin dito. Ano yung mga challenges na meron tayo dito, particularly in our own context, at yung based din sa experience ko as someone who is implementing or using different tools in the teaching and learning process.
And thank you, Sir Alwin, and we're excited. Okay, so we can now proceed with your session. Okay, so just a reminder for everyone once again. So this is a certified session. Okay, so you may evaluate the session for today to be able to get your certificates in 3 to 5 days, teachers. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, by the way, while yan na ang presentation ni Sir Alwin. Sir Alwin, your presentation is loading. Yeah. Okay, we'll just wait for it to load. Okay, before Okay. So, Sir Alwin, the floor is yours, teachers. Good luck. Enjoy the session.
Okay, once again, hello teachers. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be with you. So for me, I will be working on the challenges of ICT-based assessments. And similarly, I will try to give some solutions based on my experience and based on some researches that I have made. So for this one, our main references will be teaching and learning with ICT tools, issues, and challenges from teachers' perceptions by Simin, and then advantages and disadvantages of using information technology in the learning process of students. And from our course, yung course po na inattenda namin ni Sir Franco on adaptive design for learning. But before that, teachers, gusto ko lang pong malaman din yung mga problems for those who have tried implementing or using online assessment tools, whether these are formative or summative assessments. Ano po kaya ang mga problems na na-encounter natin? Can we use the chat box? So using the chat box, teachers, ano po kaya yung mga problems? So for Sir Alan, he said no data or Wi-Fi for the students, poor signal for Ma'am Janet. So slow internet connection for Ma'am May Bastes. So these are some of our main problems. So siguro nakikita natin dito, most of our teachers are encountering problems with their internet and gadget ng mga students. For Sir Franco, most apps are paid. Designing or integrating takes time and temptation for easier, more objective assessments using traditional means. Yon, gadgets, internet, low internet, hindi kabisado ng students or ng teachers siguro ito. So thank you very much, teachers, for all of your feedbacks. So let's move on. Let's see if I'll be able to give an address to those different problems that we have seen. So sa akin, one of the most common that we can see, our online assessments are usually prone to cheating. And I will not be discussing further on this because on how to address this problem. Kasi siguro, this was already addressed in the previous session of KTS. Ang sa akin lang, I have an experience of this wherein one of my students was able to log in the account of his classmate and we were using Google Forms. So, nakita ng student and then at the end of the teacher, hindi ko nakikita na may dalawang students na ang nag-access sa document na yon. So, siguro, this is one thing that we have to consider. And yes, it is a challenge to teachers and promoting integrity will always be challenging in line with whatever we are experiencing right now. But just like what I mentioned a while ago, this was covered in the previous already. So I will not be discussing much on this. Next, plagiarism. Napakadali na sa mga students ngayon ang gumawa ng research, especially if they are not, especially if the researches that are being conducted are pure online, references are always online, unlike maybe during my time, na kailangan ko talagang pumunta ng library. But this time, almost all of the materials that we need are online. So the basic thing that I can suggest here is let us always teach our students how to cite references. Similarly, let us always remind them to cite the references. And there's no problem actually in copying what is already given to us. However, we have to give recognition to the idea of the other person, especially if it is not our original idea. Aside from this, we can also teach our students how to rephrase or paraphrase so that our students will be able to avoid plagiarism. And one of the main problems that we have now, the AI tools. In one of the videos or short video of Sir Franco, he talked about Chat GPT. And I know we already have a checker if it is AI written. However, of our students are wiser. So they are a step ahead. So they will use Quillbot to rephrase their work. So one of the things that we can do here is promoting vigilance to teachers as well. And some of the recommendations I will be giving them later on how to address this problem. And if we're going to take a look at this, cheating, plagiarism, AI tools, these are some of the things that we see or we can easily see when we talk about online assessments or assessments that could be done with the use of ICT. But if we're going to take a look at the bigger picture, we can see that one of our main problems actually is school infrastructures. Connectivity issues, wherein a lot of our teachers have mentioned a while ago, and a challenge in line with manpower. Also, the competency of teachers, adaptability of the online assessment that we have made, and finally, student readiness. Allow me, teachers, to discuss this one by one. So, school infrastructures. One of the main things that we have to consider when we're talking about infrastructures, teachers, is the budget. So, gaano po kalaki yung allocation ng school natin sa budget for the school, or gaano kalaki yung budget ng school per se, so that we'll be able to work on this. When we started this school year, a lot of teachers who are the leaders in their ICT program in their schools were asking me, how are we implementing HighFlex? Ano yung budget na kailangan nila? Ano yung ginagamit namin? How are we doing this and that? Because sa school namin, medyo nauna kami sa karamihan ng schools when we started our classes. So they are asking me, ano ba ang dapat namin gawin? What are the things that we have to do? And I really agree that we have to strengthen the infra in our school so that we'll be able to address a lot of problems when we want to execute or use our online assessments. Especially, ang dami-dami na po nating natutunan na teachers, dami-dami na po nating natutunan na various applications or tools that we would want to use for our students when we go back on site. But unfortunately, this is one key problem that we have. Just like what was mentioned by a lot of teachers, just like Teacher Rina, Teacher Carmeline, Teacher Trisha, they are saying that their problems is their poor internet. So infrastructures really kailangan nating i-boost in the use of this. And I know that it is not just a teacher problem, but it is problem of, or it should be addressed by the school in totality. Next, connectivity issues. What if meron po tayong internet sa class? However, anong nangyayari, or sometimes in a real scenario, there are instances na nagda-down yung ating connection. Parang yung ang nangyayari parang yung ating internet bigla na lang nawawala. I have an experience of this like 2 weeks ago. Ang nangyari, I am a substitute teacher in one specific class, and I will be yung gagawin ng students dito is their assessment. And we conduct most of our assessments in Xavier, we conduct most of our assessments online. So using our LMS, nandun nakalagay yung activity ng students. Then, the setup was okay, giving instructions okay, activities before the assessment are okay. Then, when I published the assessment already, a lot of my students were not able to connect to the internet. So first troubleshooting that I did is I asked them saan sila nakakonect na Wi-Fi sa school. I'm advising them to use the other connection, going around places, sino yung mga hindi nakaka-connect. And another thing is that since I am not an actual teacher of that team, I don't teach that grade level, I'm just there to facilitate supposedly this assessment. Ang nangyari, I went out kasi 3 sections ang sabay-sabay na nag-assessment on that day. So I went to the team leader. I asked her or I told her the problem. So even if then, ang sabi, you can ask the students to borrow an iPad. Then I said, I only have 8 students. 8 out of 30 students who were able to connect. So ang daming iPad na hihiramin natin sa ITS. And then we tried to troubleshoot as much as we can. Then another one, nung nagkaroon na ng problem sa connectivity, ang ginawa, I flashed the questions on the screen so that the students will answer in their papers already. And the last resort was to give a pen and paper assessment because of this issue. So it happens. Nagkakaroon tayo ng problema. So ang kailangan natin talaga, we have to think of alternatives. Always think of what ifs. Let us not be heavily reliant on this technology kasi minsan parang pagmamahal niya sa'yo, ang internet bumibitaw talaga. Especially in our present setup right now. So yun, always prepare for alternatives. Can I screen share instead of asking my students to answer this? So think of possible alternatives to address problems like this. Then, manpower. So kailangan nating isipin ang manpower in our manpower of our school. There are some teachers who could mabilis mataranta kapag nagbibigay na ng mga using online-based activities. This is really happening. So meron kayang isang tao or someone designated to look after the problems in line with our infrastructures, yung mga gadgets na meron tayo, and all these different things. So, meron bang parang isang Jeffrey Beltran sa ating school who is an expert in line with technology, who is ready to help or assist these different teachers? So, we need this manpower. Aside from assisting, this manpower, it means that someone who could train our teachers as well so that they can really maximize the potential of using these different applications that we are talking about. Next, teacher competency. Ito po, this is in response to UNESCO's ICT competency framework for teachers on continuing professional development. And according to Carrie, he mentioned this that technology should already be one of the competencies of teachers right now. And perhaps this is also an after effect of what we have experienced in the pandemic. So learning how to choose and use technology tools for the classroom while also making or creating opportunities for students to do the same. And we say that we can use the different tools that you have mentioned a while ago, just like For me, for example, these are some of the apps or some of the tools that I've been using regularly in class. We have I use Edpuzzle, of course, and Kahoot, quizzes. A lot of you have mentioned WordWall a while ago. Rolljack, different applications or different tools that are uh, integrated with Google. And in our school, we also use Assess Prep. And in our school, for math specific, we use Cerebri. So these are some of the tools that we are using. And it is very important that teachers are competent with the use of these different applications. Or else, nagkakaroon ng problema ang delivery ng ating lesson. So, example, this is my personal blunder. Before I tried to use Rolljack in my class. Tapos, I forgot na nakatick pala yung isang button doon on collaboration. And I was still exploring Rolljack as an app. Hindi pa po ako ganun kagaling before on how to use Rolljack. I was exploring, and what I do when I explore is that I really explore with my students. I explain what they should be doing. Then there was this, yun nga, I was able to take collaboration. And the students got so lost. Hindi nila alam paano gagamitin or aayusin yung collaboration part ng Rolljack. And me, ako naman na teacher, hindi ko din sure. So ang ginawa ko, let us skip that part, sabi ko sa kanila. And that is a challenge. Na before tayo mag-deliver ng isang lesson or ng isang activity, dapat alam natin, we also know how to troubleshoot, or we also know how to address those questions. So what I did, after ng pagkakamali ko na yon sa klase, I went back to Rolljack, mas pinag-aralan ko so that sa susunod na gagamitin ko, if ever meron akong mapindot na iba't ibang parts ng activity na to, alam ko yung isasagot ko sa students. Just like right now, there are a lot of things that are happening and there are a lot of updates with our different applications. Meron, for example, quizzes and Kahoot, they have now games within the games. We have game modes. Before, we say that we are already gamifying our activities, our lessons with the use of these two apps. And yung basic quiz type, but now there are a lot of improvements. For Kahoot, for example, meron na silang mga updated ones wherein what we are doing is that we can ask our students, we can divide our students by team, then maglalaban sila as a team, or they can compete with using or getting the flags of one another through color kingdoms, among others. And quizzes is in beta. They have the beta mode for gamifying further their activities. So marami pong mga nangyayari ngayon. And before we try these different activities, number one, we should know them as the teacher. Second, we should know how to explain, and we should know how to troubleshoot the use of these different applications to our students. We should also know the different features or the various features of these different applications before we implement them. Or else, it's not just a challenging day for teachers and the class, but it will be a very chaotic lesson. Chaotic in a very negative way. So I believe we do not want that to happen in our respective classes. Kaya napaka-importante po ng teacher competency with the use of different apps. I know there are a lot of various apps there. Huwag lamang po tayong kuha ng app na gusto nating gamitin. We have to be sure and we have to be very adept. We become experts of 1, 2, or 3 apps that we know that could be useful in our class. It's not because, ikahoot ko na lang yan, or i-quizzes ko na lang yan, and then after that, that's it. We should know how to work with this, just like what we are saying. creating opportunities not just for teachers but also for students with the use of these different tools. Next, adaptability. When we are working uh, with our different assessments, whether they are formative or whether they are summative, we have to consider the flexibility of this different of our plans. So it should be part of our plan. Can we deliver this with the use of an iPad, cell phone, laptop, or desktop computer? So the design should work in any of these different, the design should work in these different options. Again, for me, for example, one of the things that I usually encounter, especially if some of my students are online, is the design of the task. Because as a teacher, for me, for example, I design the lessons that I do and the activities that I do with the use of iPad in mind. So habang ginagawa ko ang lesson na to, prepare ko ang lesson para sa klase, ang nasa isip ko na gagamitin nila iPad. However, there are instances that yung mga estudyante natin, yung mga estudyante ko, hindi pala gumagamit ng iPad sa bahay because they are more comfortable using a laptop, which is supposedly, uh, it's not my problem anymore because our school is promoting one-to-one with the use of iPad. And our expectation is our students will be using their iPads. But we have to be flexible. We have to consider the different designs. So, in one of our activities, I asked my students to download this app, GeoGebra, so that they will be using GeoGebra in class. But again, to address the problem that the students might not have the app, or the app will not work in their gadget, or they are not using iPad when they are home. So what we do is we give the alternative. So aside from the app, we also give the link, web link, para kapag hindi gumana yung app sa mga students or hindi nila ma-access yung app or may problema sa pag-download or whatever reasons or gaya ng sinabi ni Sir na merong mga alibay sa mga students natin, we have the alternative. We are prepared. And similarly, in line with adaptability, we also have to think of the modality. Ito yung isa sa mga challenge na meron tayo na minsan we design our lesson na this lesson with the use of this certain app is good when our students are on site. However, baka magkagulatan just like our experience this week na biglang we were asked to shift online and all of the activities perhaps that were planned are supposedly on site. So are our activities, whether formative or summative, could be delivered with the same quality ang magagawa nito, or will it be able to meet that certain quality with the use of these online activities? So for example, for me, if my design of my lesson for that day is for an on-site activity via Kahoot, via Teams, then I can shift using a different kind of feature of Kahoot. Or if my lesson supposedly is using Edpuzzle and it is live mode, I can shift using another mode for this activity so that it can always work. Whether online or on-site, dapat naiisip natin ang possibility of changes so that we will not be pressured, we will not be stressed with activities that we are doing. That's why teachers always think of yourself, think of your students as well. Ano ba yung gadget na ina-expect natin gamitin ng ating mga students? or ano ba yung mga ibang paraan na gagamitin, na pwedeng gamitin ng mga students natin so that they will be able to address this problem. So always prepare assessments which are ICT based to be flexible and designed that could be used with the use of their gadgets like their cell phones, their tablets, or it could be whether it is online or on site. And this is the last one. I say student readiness. Ito siguro yung isa sa mga pinaka nakakaligtaan ng mga teachers natin, that they are so aware, they know all of the things, they have mastered the different features of the app. Then when they use it and implement this in class, our students minsan gulong-gulo. So how are we going to address this problem? We can address this problem by informing our students or walking through our students on how to use a certain application, so that before we implement a formative or a summative assessment, alam na nila. So they should have, most especially if this activity is a summative activity, yung graded na talaga. So our students should have had an experience already. So for us, for example, assess prep, to prepare our students, we have to teach them how to log in. Although alam natin na dapat alam na ng mga students natin how to log in, we have to work on that. We have to prepare them on how to log in. And then what are the different features of this certain app? And finally, we let them use it for practice. Because it is not only the teachers who should be masters of these different ICT-based applications that we would love to use, but also our students should be ready when we use these different activities. That's why we should know what to do, we should know what to use, and which of these different applications is most appropriate for this certain assessment. Can I use Kahoot for summative, or it is better for is it better for formative? Quizzes, Rolljack, Wordwall. We also have Cerebri. We're in the same process that we went through, that we have to guide. We have guided our students on what to do, how to log in, how to use it, so that when they encounter this already, or when they use it on that summative assessment day, they are ready for this. So teachers, once again, we should also pay importance to the readiness of our students with the applications that we are using. Whether we know that this was already used in the previous, even if students already know Kahoot, and when we are going to use a different feature of Kahoot, for example, it is very important that we can, or we should be explaining what they should be doing first. So these are the different things that we have to consider in line with the different activities of our school. And teachers, before I end, once again, I am Alwin Reclusado, your ambassador of different applications that are heavily used in the Philippines at the moment. And allow me to take this opportunity already, Sir Franco, for a shameless plug. Please join us in our Edu Spring Meetup for Teachers, Gamify Student-Led Learning, this review season, in the Kahoot Edu Meetup on March 22, 2023. And in the Philippines, this will be March 23, 2023 already. And I was picked by Kahoot as one of the Kahoot ambassadors to be the speaker for Coffee Kahoot session. So I will be doing this after Miss May Versosa, the first female Kahoot ambassador in the Philippines, and Kaduo. He also shared in Kahoot as well already. So Yun po, teachers, once again, thank you very much. And I hope that I was able to share some insights and how to troubleshoot the different challenges that we are facing right now.
Yan, Sir Alwin, thank you so much for ano no, leading us into that part of the discussion on ICT based no. Medyo iba lang yung teachers no yung discussion natin for today. Hindi siya heavy on theories, hindi siya heavy on maybe ano no yung actual applications for ICT based assessments no. Okay? What we try to do today, teachers, is that be more personal in a way, tsaka experiential. Ano talaga yung nakikita natin no. Kaya that's why we focus more on the benefits, okay? Why you should start ICT-based assessments. Second would be challenges, no? What will you encounter, no, in doing so? Okay? Kasi kailangan maging realistic din tayo, Sir Alwin, no? Kasi alam natin na hindi madali, no? Sabi nga ni Teacher RVP Dailo, 21st century classroom good for private schools. No, siguro yun yung hardest reality natin ngayon, Sir Alwin, ano, is that yes, meron pa ring big gap no and discrepancy between public schools and private schools, okay, when it comes to resources, when it comes to access, no, okay, at that's really one of the things no, that we have been clamoring for no for the public schools, for them to have that kind of resources as well, okay. But anyway, maraming salamat no Sir Alwin for that discussion, okay. Yes, no. Siguro lang ako personally what I really appreciate from the discussion of Sir Alwin is that one, there is that realization that yes, no, technology integration, ICT-based assessment is not a perfect one. Okay, so when you get into that, no, it's not going to be a smooth sailing like unicorns and rainbows okay, kind of experience. Okay, more of like Jurassic Park, no, ang pag-integrate ng technology sa classroom teachers. No? So be prepared, okay? Siguro yun yung gusto sabihin ni Sir Alwin, no? Okay? But at the same time, what I really like about Sir Alwin's presentation that he presented possibilities, no? Okay, and solutions, okay? So while there are challenges, definitely there are solutions, okay? So it's a matter of mindset, teachers, no? Okay? So yeah, teachers, now we have time to we have a viewer from Tanzania. Okay, Sir Alwin. Okay, grabe. So we have some time pa for questions, teachers. Okay, you might want to ask. Okay. Ayan, no, meron pa isang message from Teacher Janet Diego. Okay. Although there are many challenges integrating technologies in teaching special assessment, we teachers should exert every means to deliver it to our learners.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat, Teacher Janet. Okay. Pero ikaw siguro, Sir Alwin, if you're going to be asked, no, given your experience, no, siyempre hindi lang private, tsaka pati public schools na you already have the context, okay? And if you are in that position to like initiate something in the Philippines, what would that be? What problem would you most probably try to solve first or try to address first so that ICT-based assessments will thrive in every possible school in the Philippines?
Grabe
Pero
ito,
mga pang Miss Universe na.
hindi lang pang Miss Universe, pang compre exam question. For me, Sir Franco, maybe the thing that I would want really to address at the moment is on learning loss of the students. And for us to be able to address that with the use of ICT, siguro sa teachers is that number one, aside from giving them trainings, is that the importance of these different activities or the significance and benefits that we could get from these different IC tools na pwedeng i-implement sa different schools. And then ano ba yung pwedeng gamitin or how I can deliver or use this activity, this ICT tool, kahit na problematic ang internet ko, for example. Or ano ba yung mga pwedeng gamitin na different apps na contextualized, na mas applicable sa mga students natin at this different moment. So there's no singular answer to these different questions because once again, we have to take a look at the the context of the school, the context of the students, bago natin ma-implement or bago tayo makapag-address ng isang certain problem. So what is important is we should, as teachers, we should be able to maximize the use of these different tools na kung ano yung available sa atin at yung alam natin na hindi lahat na pwede natin gamitin, ah, hindi lang yung mga paid accounts ang gagamitin natin or yun. Siguro to give one specific answer then is that the use of Edpuzzle, for example, hindi kailangan ng accounts ng ating mga students. So kahit na isang teacher lang ang merong account at yung teacher, you don't have to ask your students to bring their gadgets in school. Kung problema natin ang gadget, as long as kayang mag-log in sa internet ng teacher, ng gadget ng teacher, and we can play or share it through live mode. So sa live mode ng Edpuzzle, pwedeng sumagot ang ating mga students every time na nagpo-pause ang video. So that could be an example for that. It could be used for formative or summative assessment. So yun nga, we have to be creative, we have to innovate, we have to look for ways for us to use the different apps and address the problems that we have in our respective schools.
Yan, ang bait ng sagot. Yes. Medyo desensitize yung sagot din, ano. Pero anyway, highly appreciated no, Sir Alvin. No? Totoo naman talaga ano, na learning loss no, it's I think na one of the biggest challenges no, na kailangan nating harapin when it comes to like bridging the learning no, not only for ICT-based assessments but in general no. Pero siguro lang when it comes to ICT-based assessments, mas mapapabilis natin, no, sabi nga ni Sir Alwin din, is that mapapabilis natin yung pag-catch up natin when we use no technology or ICT-based no instruction and assessments in bridging the learning loss of our students. Okay? Ako kasi personally, Sir Alwin, no, ang talagang ano ko is that nasa policy talaga, no? Okay? Kasi if you think about it, no, we have like excellent teachers. Okay? Napakagagaling ng mga teachers natin. Pinatunayan ng pandemic yan, ano, na kaya ng teachers natin makipagsabayan. Okay? Kita mo naman kung gaano kadami ang biglang naging Google Certified Educator, naging Kahoot Ambassador, Kahoot users, no, in the Philippines, no. Hindi tayo nangungulang o nagkukulang sa magagaling na guro sa Pilipinas. Napakahusay no ng mga guro natin sa Pilipinas. Okay? Ideas, innovations nandun din, okay? Even the enthusiasm to try technology no in the classroom, even in assessments, instruction nandun din, okay? So talaga ang kulang is yung sa policy, no, okay? I don't feel it as much that our DepEd, no, okay, or the Department of Education is actually pushing hard on this one. Although we'll see it, no, makikita naman natin sa kanilang mga programs, no, pero parang hindi lang solid yung alignment, Sir Alwin, no, like in terms like resources, budgeting. I think no the biggest no okay, evidence of that is that after going back on site, no, the edtech unit, no, was simply absorbed in another unit. Okay, so that's a telling inclination of our Department of Education. Okay, so yun lang siguro, no, kasi personally, alam ko rin Sir Alwin na nararamdaman mo rin yan kapag pag hindi supportive yung administration, okay, sa taas, ang hirap gumalaw as a teacher. Kahit gaano ka kagaling at gaano ka kahusay, no? Okay? Swerte lang si Sir Alwin, no, kasi napaka-supportive ng aming administrators, no, tsaka nung kanyang department chairperson when it comes to technology integration. But otherwise, it would be very hard. Imagine, Sir Alwin, kung yung lack of support is coming from the highest no institution who's supposed to support our teachers. Yan ang pinakamalaking problema. So, isa yan sa mga tinitignan natin, no? Okay? So, hopefully, we get to address that, no? Okay? But sabi nga kanina ni Teacher MJ, of course, Teacher Alwin, no, Sir Alwin, wag pa rin tayong susuko, teachers. Okay? Malaki yung hadlang, malaki yung balakid sa ating lahat, but we can still do it. No? Kayang-kaya pa rin nating mga teachers yan. Okay? So, wag susukuan ang technology integration, ICT-based assessment teachers. Okay? That's for our students, okay, to be 21st century ready. Okay? Okay. So, sana may trabaho pa ako bukas. At hindi ako ipahanap ni DepEd. Yan. Anyway, so teachers, now, if you have questions, ayan, Okay, baka meron pa tayong mga katanungan. Okay? Mukhang wala na, Sir Alwin, okay? So I think that's also the time that we have, no? Okay, but of course, Sir Alwin, before we even go, no, before natin closing session natin ngayon, okay? We'd like to, of course, appreciate no your efforts, okay? On sharing your time and your expertise for today's session, okay? So we'd like to present this certificate of appreciation. It's respectfully awarded to Alwin Reclusado for sharing his knowledge and expertise in the recently concluded webinar entitled ICT-Based Assessments, Integrating Technology in Assessments, awarded on March 11, 2023. Training duration, 1.5 hours. Okay, so once again, maraming salamat, Sir Alwin. And just as always, a simple message, Sir Alwin, for our teachers, no, to let our teachers know that we got their back.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity once again, Sir Franco, to share to our teachers. And just like what I always share as well, teachers, that let us not be afraid to commit mistakes with the use of technology. Laging mangyayari at mangyayari yan. What matters is we learn from these experiences and always build on anti-fragility, na yung ginagamit natin, mga pinag-aaralan natin, wag nating bitawan, kundi dapat alamin natin paano mas magamit kapag on-site, online, high flex, kung anumang modality ang meron tayo ngayon. At in the future, huwag nating kalimutan yung mga napag-aralan natin from before and always learn how to use them, apply which one is the best in our designing our lessons. At huwag din kalimutan na if you have questions for us na kaya naming sagutin not only during webinars but also you can ask questions from us. You can DM us, send us private messages, or post in Kaagapay Teacher Support Group or even in Ed Puzzle Pilipinas Group. Tutulungan po namin kayo, lalong-lalo na ng ating Mr. Franco, ang pambansang bayani pagdating sa ating technology integration sa Pilipinas.
Thank you. Maraming salamat, Sir Alwin. Okay, so teachers, that now ends our session. Okay, so we'll now proceed with the evaluation of the session, okay, for you to be able to get your e-certificates. Maraming salamat, Sir Alwin. Paalam po.
Paalam po, teachers.
So teachers, here's your evaluation link. Please evaluate at https://tinyurl.com/March Series 2023 E2. Okay? So once again, maraming salamat, teachers. No, please don't forget that we have a follow-up session on our series on next Saturday. That's going to be March 18. Okay, March 18. Wherein we're going to talk about authentic assessments through the use of PBL or project-based learning. Okay, we'll be seeing some important aspects of PBL or project-based learning and how authentic assessments are now assessments that we're supposed to be pursuing. Okay, so once again, teachers, maraming salamat. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you on our session next week po on March 15 muna pala, no, with Class Point, and then March 18 with the continuation of our March series. Okay, so not working daw po. Let me just baka hindi pa naka-open. Let me just open, teachers. Pa-refresh na lang po in a while. Okay. Yan. This is the reason why we have to also test our requirements. Okay. Okay. So teachers, for a while, let me just check our settings. Ayan, okay? So please, teachers, evaluate now. It's now open. Pa-refresh na lang po. Ayan. Okay. That should be working by now, teachers. Okay na po. Maraming salamat, teachers. Okay, have a nice weekend, everyone. And good luck on our next week work, teachers. Okay, laban lang tayo. Tuloy-tuloy po tayong magpatuloy, no, sa ating mission bilang mga guro. Paalam po.